To like my dad's quarters. Yeah. This is like my mom's picture. This was during one of the demonstrations that she had. You can see from the expression on her face that she's not really impressed by what she's witnessing at that point in time. Everybody knows that when you look like that, you're like, oh, this is just, you know. And she was always the person that always showed her emotions. She didn't hide her emotions. If she's not happy with something, or if she's disgusted by something, maybe the police were harassing them or firing tear gas and things like that. And that's how she looked at them like this. This used to be one of my dad's office. He turned it into an office. It was his room before, but it now became an office. We turned this into an office. You can see all the stuff that we have in our, when we're working, documents and things like that. But we have turned, this is one of his rooms, we turned it into an office, inshallah. These are some of it. And this was where we come and sit down with him and laugh with him and eat with him and things like that, you know. But you know, so I mean, like if I was to leave, then the house would be totally empty. So I think I'm stuck here, you know.
But what plans do you think this, like, you know, you should have left? But I feel like with the look of things, this house deserves more than residents just staying here. Like I said earlier, it feels like I walked into a street. No. So what plans do you think would or should be done to this?
Well, it's kind of complicated because at the end of the day, at the beginning of it, it's a residence, you know. So if they make it into something else, you know, well, then what happens to the fact that people actually still live here on a day-to-day basis and things like that? And so I don't know. I think that there are some things that can be done, like some parts of the house can be preserved, as maybe like Mr. Okuni mentioned the other day, like kind of like.
Every single day, Lagos generates over 13,000 metric tons of solid waste, more than many African countries produce in a week. But less than half of this waste is properly collected or disposed, while the rest piles up in streets, markets, and growing dump sites across the city, turning communities into ticking time bombs. From Ojota to Agege, Ayobo to Iyanoba, and across Lagos, waste is piling up faster than it can be managed, threatening both the health of residents and the environment.
Very, very hard, like just to struggle for myself and for my kids too. So that life in this place is just for you to look for somewhere to just hide your head, just put your head.
And they face a lot of challenges here. This place, because like what I'm saying here, the place they live, kind of work they do, where they cook and what they eat every day, it's going to affect them because many of them are here just for them to survive.
There is just one of two things that is come up, is that they will have to sell something before they will see money here to eat. Either they sell plastic or a rubber or keg or nylon, so they'll need to sell it. They'll work hard to get the money here. But in this place, you see a lot of people, they are living here. It's not like they don't have the money to rent house, but the money is too hard for them to see. Even though if they see the money safe, they will have to buy something. If rain fall, you will see a lot of water before you are coming into this place.
But beyond residents, thousands of people depend on these dump sites for survival, selling food and scavenging recyclables in risky and unhealthy conditions just to make a living. The question remains, how is the government tackling this challenge, and what is the plan for communities like Ojota, where the health of thousands is at stake?
We have monitoring and compliance officers who go around to enforce environmental laws. So since last year, we've arrested and prosecuted close to 200 offenders for littering, for dumping bulk waste. And we've also sealed a lot of facilities, commercial facilities that have not been obeying the environmental laws. We need to reduce the amount of waste we're generating. We need to reuse as much of that waste as possible, and also to recycle as much as possible. And that's the gospel we've been taking throughout the state. We're currently running a 2-bin system in Lagos. We have 2 bins, a green bin for general waste and a blue bin for mixed recyclables. And we have 80,000 of those, which we're selling through our websites. The 2 legacy dump sites at Olusosun and Solus 3 in Igodo. Each dump site will be replaced by a transfer loading station. From these transfer loading stations, we'll transport waste to new material recovery facilities, one in Ikorodu and one in Badagry. And those 2 sites collectively will process about 4,000 tons of waste out of the 13,000 we generate daily.
With this sensitization, we hope that the market women actually comply with the rules of the Thursday sanitation. That's number 1, which is very essential. Number 2 is to keep their goods and the things they sell in the proper places they are meant to keep them. Trade in the proper places they are meant to trade. Don't trade on the walkway. Abide by the rules. Leave the amount of meters that's left to be on the road for cars and vehicles to, to move around. And not only that alone, it's also essential for our market women as well. Once they are done with the day's trade, they should clean and sweep, the place that they've carried out their trade, their stores and their shops, put it in a proper, nice waste bin, tie it up, and take it to where the lawnmower operatives are meant to carry out, their duties, and make sure the disposal is as neat and as clean as possible. Because that's where we buy our food, that's where we buy a lot of things to take to our houses. And if it's not properly kept and the hygiene is not well done, we run dangers and, risk of having food disease and, disease outbreak.
While government agencies continue to emphasize citizen responsibilities, residents insist that stronger intervention and real actions are urgently needed to prevent further environmental and health crises.
In addition, we have waste-to-energy projects planned for our Ekpe dump site, which has been closed. That's by the free trade zone. There's going to be a waste-to-energy plant there to be constructed by Harvest Waste, a Dutch company. And that waste-to-energy plant will take in about 2,500 tons of waste daily to generate 60 to 80 megawatts of electricity to power the future of Lagos. Loma has a partnership with Lamata to build a biogas plant that will take in organic waste, both solid and liquid organic waste, and generate biomethane to power the mass transit fleet of Lamata and the compactor trucks that we use for collection of waste statewide.
For us as a local government, it's something we've done with our legislative arm within us here at Agege local government, is to make sure that anyone caught disposing waste the wrong way is going to be fined 50,000 naira, and they would also sign an agreement that allows us to know that once they do the same thing again, is either they pay more fine, and also we also hand them over to the necessary authorities to carry out all other regulations on all other enforcement on them. For example, some people actually go to serve jail term, in regards to dropping refuse, illegally. That's one thing. And also environmental sanitation. People that don't sanitize, carry out sanitation in their houses, clean their drainages, will seal up their houses and ensure they pay a fine. After sensitization, which is the month of September, we are also going straight to inner street sweeping. We'll be bringing out our people from the communities who will be appointed as street sweepers, and we'll pay them to make sure our inner streets are clean. We'll be making sure we carry along and then stakeholders around the ones that are nominated by the government to sweep the major highways, across our local governments. Also, we are building an enforcement team, creating an enforcement team to manage people who have decided that they want to drop waste illegally. And not only that, we're also creating a drainage team that will be clearing all drainages across our local governments. We're also empowering and ensuring that we strengthen our own local security operatives to help us ensure that we catch people who are dropping waste illegally.
For now, Lagosians wait and hope that promises of cleaner, safer communities will move beyond talks and become a reality. Imisioluwa Afumisho, African News 24 TV.
To like my dad's quarters. Yeah. This is like my mom's picture. And this was during one of the demonstrations that she had. You can see from the expression on her face that she's not really impressed by what she's witnessing at that point in time. Everybody knows that when you look like that.
Hello and welcome. We're delighted to have you join us at this hour on African News 24 TV. I am Praise Adeleke. Here are the stories and the reports we have for you at this time. President Bola TINUBU has ordered the immediate withdrawal of police officers attached to very important persons nationwide, directing the personnel be reassigned to core policy duty. The directive follows a security measure held on Sunday in Abuja with heads of police, army, Air Force, and Department of State Services. According to the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Ononuga, VIPs who still require protection will now obtain armed escorts from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The presidency said the decision is aimed at correcting years of uneven personnel deployment that has weakened police presence across rural and semi-urban areas. TINUBU expressed concerns over declining police visibility in many remote communities, where stations reportedly operate with minimal manpower amid rising cases of banditry, kidnapping, and communal violence. To address the shortfall, the president approved the recruitment of 30,000 new police personnel alongside a planned upgrade to training facilities nationwide. The federal government will work with state government to modernize police academics and improve police training. Still on security, the founder of Living Faith Church Worldwide, Bishop David OYEDEPO, has declared a 7-day midnight prayer campaign in response to the rising wave of terrorist attack and violent crimes across Nigeria. He was speaking during the 4th Pre-Shiloh Encounter Service, where he described the current insecurity as both a spiritual and physical siege that requires urgent and collective intercession. He condemned the surge in banditry, kidnapping, and attacks on churches and communities, calling the incidents unacceptable and a direct assault on innocent lives. The cleric announced that the prayer chain would begin at exactly midnight, urging members of the church and Christians nationwide to join the exercise. OYEDEPO expressed deep concerns over recent killings and mass abduction, lamenting that kidnappers had turned human lives into big-time business through widespread ransom demands. He insisted that the crisis was driven by spiritual forces and must be confronted spiritually, stressing that Church of Christ in Nigeria is indestructible. Former Abia Governor ORJI KALU has accused unnamed political actors of sponsoring kidnapping and killings across the country to frustrate President Bola Tinubu's administration. Speaking with journalists in Abuja, KALU said the surge in targeted attacks, abductions, and coordinated assaults on communities shows signs of deliberate sabotage rather than ordinary criminal activities. According to him, some powerful individuals are playing politics with human lives just to create the impression that the current government is incapable of restoring security. According to KALU, quote, "These killings are political. The people want Tinubu to fail and they are using insecurity to push that narrative." End of quote. From the south to the north, where suspected Boko Haram terrorists have abducted 12 women. The women were reported kidnapped in Musa district in Askira Uba local government area of Borno state while returning from their farmlands. The state police public relation officer, Nahum Daso, has confirmed the attack, adding that the investigation has been launched, calling for calm. In a separate attack on Sunday, suspected Boko Haram terrorists also launched an over 2-hour assault in the Magumeri local government area of the state, burning homes, vehicles and shops, though it was confirmed that no lives were lost. Locals says the attack has heightened fear in the area, particularly among women farmers who frequently travel through isolated routes. And now the United States has condemned the recent kidnapping of students and teachers in Niger and KEBBI states. In a statement, the U.S. said the attack must not go unpunished and urged the Nigerian government to arrest those responsible. The U.S. also called for better security to protect schools and vulnerable communities, including Christians. Last week, gunmen kidnapped over 300 students and teachers from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State. Just days earlier, they also took about 24 schoolgirls from the school in KEBBI State and killed the vice principal. About 50 students later escaped. The federal government claimed to have launched rescue operations, while the president, Bola Tinubu, has ordered the Minister of State for Defense to move to KEBBI and lead the efforts. PAYSTACK has dismissed its co-founder and Chief Technology Officer, EZRA OLUBI, over allegations of sexual misconduct and resurfaced disturbing posts shared widely on social media. The company initially suspended OLUBI and announced an investigation, but the tech executive revealed in a blog post that he was informed for the termination on November 22, 2025, before the inquiry was concluded. He alleged that the decision was made without granting him hearing, describing the process as a breach of PAYSTACK's internal procedures. OLUBI insisted that the viral posts do not reflect his character and stated that he fully complied with the board's directives during the probe. He added that his legal team is reviewing the circumstances surrounding his dismissal and will determine the next step. Into some business stories, the Office of the Auditor General for the Federation has uncovered 28 major financial infractions involving the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The infraction, which amounts to about 61.1 billion naira, is said to be in questionable payments and undocumented expenditures. The red flags contained in the Auditor General's 2022 report on non-compliance detail weak internal control, irregular procurement, tax breaches, and unsustainable settlements across NNPCL and all its subsidiaries. Among the concerns raised is the undocumented spending of 14.3 million naira in NNPCL's London office in 2021. Also, power generation companies, GENCOS, have rejected the federal government's proposal, asking them to forfeit half of 5 trillion naira owed for electricity supplied to the national grid. The offer, outlined in contrast documents sent to the GENCOS, proposed about 2.4 trillion naira as final settlement through a bond-financed special purpose vehicle that would take over liabilities from the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC. The companies advised two alternative repayment models: immediate payment of 2.4 trillion naira with the balance scheduled for later, or a slight reduction applied only to interest charges, with outstanding energy and capacity payments remain intact. And on the foreign scene, a suicide bombing at the Federal Constabulary Headquarters in Panjshir of Pakistan on Monday has left 3 paramilitary personnel dead and 4 others injured. According to Panjshir Police Chief Miam Saeed, the attack occurred at about 8 in the morning on Sada Road when one assailant detonated explosives at the main gate, while 2 other attackers were swiftly shot dead by security forces. Scenes from the blast site shows body parts of a suspected bomber scattered near the gate as emergency responders and bomb disposal team moved in. The police chief said no group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack, which took place in a region that has faced renewed militant activity since the Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan in 2021. Prime Minister Sharif condemned the assault, commending security personnel for preventing further casualties. And in sports, there are fresh concerns that the Super Falcons may miss another chance to regroup as the final Women's International window of 2025 opens today. This comes as the Nigeria Football Federation continues scrambling to secure friendly matches for the team. Other African sides like Ghana, Zambia, and South Africa have already lined up fixtures for the break. The NFF confirmed that a previously arranged friendly match was cancelled after the opposing team suddenly pulled out, reportedly because their coach preferred what he called a lesser opponent. With the window running from November 24th to December 2nd, and the Super Falcons yet to confirm any game, NFF President Ibrahim Gusau simply said, "We are checking," when asked about the team's plans. And finally on sports, former Manchester United star Wayne Rooney is pointing fingers at Mohamed Salah for Liverpool's recent dip in form. Speaking on his podcast, Rooney reacted to the 3-0 home loss to Nottingham Forest over the weekend, noting that despite Salah's 5 goals this season, the forward has not delivered a goal contribution in several matches. Rooney suggested that the manager and slots may need to take a bold call, even if it means leaving the Egyptian out of the starting lineup. He urged that Salah's lack of defensive effort sends the wrong message to players waiting on the bench, adding that the legendary status of the club shouldn't exempt him from accountability. And that's all we have for you at this hour. Thank you for staying with us on Africa News 24 TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms as displayed on your screen, and visit our website at africanews24.ng to stay informed and ahead. I am Praise Adeleke. We'll be back with more updates in our next report. Bye for now.